said, okay, I'm asking you one favor. Don't tell anybody. And we promise we won't tell anybody. We left him to go out. And they allowed Chief Akande to pass. And they said, I cannot go. I said, why couldn't I go? He said, the president wants to see me again. Hey. I said, I don't enter trouble. I went back to the president. What have I done that you allowed Chief Akande to go and you didn't allow me to go? And he said, you came and told me this story. I said, yes. He then said, what did I tell you? I said, you told me and Chief Akande not to tell anybody. He said, good, you remember, you can go. I said, no, I'm not going. What you are saying by implication is that if this story broke out, you will hold me responsible. But that's not fair.
Hello guys, welcome once again to Think Tank TV and thank you so much for joining me. Now, you see, sometimes when I come out and say on air that when the chips are down, the truth will finally unveil itself, I believe by the time you watch the video I'm about to show to you, you will understand why I said so. Yes, a video has leaked and gained media traction of Professor Prof Adeyeye, who has come out to expose some evil, unbelievable, ungodly romance and some of the transactions, unbelievable transactions that happened between the former CBN Governor in person of Godwin Emiefele, the former President of Nigeria in person of Muhammadu Buhari, the current President of Nigeria when he was not a president in person of President Bola Tinubu, and by extension, President Goodluck Jonathan, and some of the siphoning of an unbelievable billions of dollars that was siphoned and given to Dasuki, the former National Security Advisor. Yes, something that seemed to be a secret that was discussed in a dark room has come out to be exposed for all Nigerians to see. And I want you to sit back and take a look at the interview that was done on Channels Television between Shehu Akimbaloye and Professor Olushola that has packed reactions on the internet. Do your best to listen to it with rapt attention, because trust me, you're going to be seeing some of the evil shenanigans that happen behind the curtains in Aso Rock. And by extension, you're going to be understanding why we need men of integrity in the corridors of power. Do your best to watch this video to the end, as I'll be coming back to give you my thoughts about it.
Emiefele came to my house.
The former CBN Governor?
Yes. I said, how did you know my house? He said it was sent to me by Bola Tinubu. I said, you are lying. Because the last time Bola Tinubu visited me, I was in Akko Legislative Quarters. He has not been to this place. How will he send you to me that you will know this place? And he said, well, if I want to get you, all I need to get is get Rauf. I said, okay, hold on. So I called Rauf. I said, look, this man is here. Rauf said, yes, please attend to him. Give him everything he wants. I was instrumental to the confirmation of Emiefele as the chairman, as the governor of Central Bank. And guess what? Because at that time, there were enough votes to kill his nomination. If I tell you the who is who of the Nigerian Senate who are opposed to Emiefele, you'll be shocked. But we got him confirmed. It wasn't easy. We got him confirmed. When Buhari now became president, we were quartered in Hilton Hotel. Again, I don't know how he knew my room. He really came to my room. He was shaking like jellyfish. I said, what's wrong? He said, Egbon, they are after me. who are after you? He mentioned them. And he mentioned how much he had given these people who were after him. So I said, so why are you telling me? Go and tell the police. He said, I cannot tell the police. I said, if you cannot tell the police, it means you have done something wrong. If they're after you, as governor of Central Bank, the Nigerian police owe you a duty to protect you. If they are after you, what will I do to protect you? He said, I just want you to know in case anything happens to me. I said, you're a fool. You mustn't let anything happen to you. You must tell. And I will tell. He said, don't tell. That evening, I went to Rauf. And I told Rauf. Rauf said, this is not what I can handle. You must go to Asiwaju. I said, no. I don't want to go to Asiwaju. If Asiwaju gets angry and calls a press conference, the whole thing will blow. He said, no. I said, look, I don't want to get into it. If anything happens, Asiwaju has resources to protect himself. I'm an orphan. I don't have a father. I don't have a mother. I don't want anything will happen to me. Anyway, Asiwaju said, in that case, let's go and tell Babakande. So we went to Babakande. I went to Babakande. Babakande said, this is too much. We must tell Asiwaju. So I said, okay. Before we tell Asiwaju, let's get him not to be angry. This thing doesn't require gra. Otherwise, they might kill Emiefele.
Who are those after him?
I cannot.
Are they politicians?
3 of them are politicians. Yes.
They were after him. Were they in government at the time?
My friend, they were politicians and they were extorting him. You've not heard of the story. So we decided to go and tell Buhari. It was the very weekend that Buhari was sworn into office. So Chief Akande and I went to Buhari. We got there, we met the governor of Niger State. His first day in office, he hadn't moved to the villa at that time. He was still in that holding place. I was the first person that spoke to Buhari when he resumed duty as president. And I told him the story. He said, how many people had we told? We didn't tell him that we had told Asiwaju and that we had told Rauf. I said, look, this is the only man I've told.
This was in 2015.
Yes. I said 2 days after I became president. We saw him 2 days previously at the Eagle Square. 2 days was this. The following day were all kind of parties and receptions.
It was May 31.
Yes. So we went to him. So he said, okay, I'm asking you one favor. Don't tell anybody. And we promise we won't tell anybody. We left him to go out, and they allowed Chief Akande to pass. And they said, I cannot go. I said, why couldn't I go? He said, the president wants to see me again. Hey. I said, I don't enter trouble. I went back to the president. What have I done that you allowed Chief Akande to go and you didn't allow me to go? And he said, you came and told me this story. I said, yes. He then said, what did I tell you? I said, you told me and Chief Akande not to tell anybody. He said, good, you remember, you can go. I said, no, I'm not going. What you are saying by implication is that if this story broke out, you will hold me responsible. But that's not fair. And he said, let me tell you why. I believe the story will not leak from Chief Akande. That's what he told me. He said, because Chief Akande had been governor. He had been deputy governor. He had been secretary to government. Chief Akande knows how to hold state secrets. He said, you're an officer or professor. He said, I don't want this thing to leak. 1 year went, nothing happened to these people. 2 years went, nothing happened to these people. 3 years went, nothing happened to these people. In fact, one of them his profile was rising in the polity. So one day I went to him as his own re-election was coming. I booked an appointment to see him. And I saw him, I said, look, Baba Daura, there's something I don't understand about you. On the first day you started this job, I brought this report to you.
Just a moment. We have been due for a break, but I didn't want to break your line of thought. That's why I've not got into it.
Okay.
But when we come back from the break, I'd like you to continue on that thought. But of course, Channel Television would like to indemnify ourselves from any libelous or defamatory utterances that may have come out of this conversation from anyone whose name has been mentioned. Anyone who has contrary view to what has been said on the program tonight has an open door opportunity to speak their mind. But we'll be back after this break, everyone. Jonathan, we're in the home stretch of the program. Professor Adeyeye has been speaking with us, former senator, former chief whip of the Nigerian Senate, and a one-time member of the House of Representatives. May I forget that you are also a local government chairman.
Yes, I will.
A long list of what we plan to discuss, but it appears that a lot of issues have now, overtaken that. I'd like you to summarize and conclude on. A lot of Nigerians would like to know how that ended, because when you're mentioning President Tinubu in the same statement with Emiefele, this is a government that is prosecuting that man.
Well, if he commits any crime, he should be prosecuted. I mean, the things that Emiefele did as the election was coming were most unscrupulous. I mean, where in the world does the governor of Central Bank do that kind of thing as the election were coming? Look, let me tell you. What we saw at Babangida's book launch was the establishment of Nigeria incorporating a few new members. I pray to God that Tinubu will never join the establishment, because the establishment has brought us into a bad path, has brought our republic to a bad path. As the election was coming for Buhari, I went to him and I said, Baba, you didn't do anything you promised to do about the report I brought to you on your first day of office. Buhari told me, Prof, if you know what favor you have done this country, you should be given a national award. I said, I don't have to know. You are the president. Give me the national award, since you know what I've done. And I said, but what has happened to the people that I came to report to you? He said he summoned Emiefele. And Emiefele told him far more than he told me. And Emiefele, by the time he finished talking to Buhari, disclosed that whatever amount I was reporting to Buhari was like chicken feed. Because I was only reporting the billions of naira. Now they were talking of billions of dollars.
They were being siphoned using the. You said that the man was being extorted.
Yes.
So they were collecting the money directly from CBN. Is that the case? Was that the case?
I wasn't there. I didn't know how they were collecting.
But based on what you said, Emiefele told you.
That's what he told me. But what you want to hear is what I'm about to say now. Is that whatever amount those people had extorted amounted to nothing compared with what Emiefele disclosed to President Buhari as the money that had been given the then National Security Advisor.
Who was that?
That's okay. And that President Buhari told me that he didn't care how many times the court will rule that he would not release Dasuki, because how could he explain the money that were traced to him? I don't know how security budget is financed, but at that time, what the newspaper reported was about $72 billion. And that amount became the focus of government to retrieve, rather than the chicken feed that I had reported to the president. So if that's the case, how will I be the one to tell the president?
So the meat of the matter, Prof, was that they were using CBN as a supermarket to siphon money. Was that what Emiefele was reporting to Bola and to President Buhari at the time?
I don't know what he reported to him. I was not there. But I'm telling you,
part of what he told
I'm telling you that the president told me that whatever amount I came to report to him was nothing in comparison to what Emiefele disclosed to him. And the president said that is the reason he was hell-bent never to release that.
Who are these other politicians that you are trying to protect?
I'm not trying to protect them.
Who are these people?
I will not tell you.
But they are still here, they are politicians.
They are alive.
Wow, remarkable indeed. Now, there are some things I observed in this video when I was listening to it, and I think I want to share with you. The first of them is the rule of law. You will observe that Prof was saying that when he went to President Muhammadu Buhari as at the time to make that exposition, Buhari said something to him. He said that regardless of how many court discharges Dasuki, the former National Security Advisor, he was never going to be releasing him. And what does that tell you? Rule of law. I understand that he was obviously doing that with a good intention in a bid to protect the Commonwealth of Nigerians as it is. But the truth is that the role of the rule of law cannot be overemphasized in a democratic setting. That is the gospel truth. I don't know how lawyers interpret such issues when it has to do with circumstantial judgments and circumstantial decisions. But the truth is that if you take a look at some of his words critically, just like I did, you will find out that President Muhammadu Buhari was obviously not following the rule of law. And that is why, by extension, you could have a court come out and say, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is free. And President Muhammadu Buhari says, no, I'm not going to free him. Yes. And I was also asking myself the question that, if truly President Muhammadu Buhari believed all these lies against Emiefele, he was actually instrumental to the laundering of monies, why did he allow Godwin Emiefele to still continue in his second tenure as the CBN Governor? Remarkable indeed. You see, it tells you the disposition and the mentality of those we recruit into the leadership process of Nigeria. And that tells us something. You see, most of the times I always say it that we are a reflection of the leaders we get. And that is the gospel truth. Do you know that even politicians that are misbehaving, obviously the Nigerians know that this one is not doing well, this one does not have what it takes to be a leader, they still have supporters. Yes, they still have supporters. And that tells you that Nigerians who are hungry will go ahead to support them. And that in itself is a strategy of politicians to keep you hungry. That in itself is a strategy of Nigerian politicians to make sure that they weaponize poverty, and I keep saying it again and again, so that whatever they offer you, you would have no other option than to accept it. And that must stop. Yes. And the last of them is the misuse of funds. You can see where they are calling billions of dollars, like they are calling hundreds of naira. It tells you that, in fact, it's a no-brainer that Nigeria is very, absolutely wealthy. But the problem we are having is the misuse of the commonwealth of the people, for goodness sake. When can we ever have the people that will be able to protect our commonwealth so that Nigerians can benefit from it directly? We'd like you to do well to share this video. We'd like you to do well to drop your own thoughts in the comment section and touch the like button. It doesn't cost anything. When you touch the like button, this video becomes recommended for more people to get to see. And perhaps expose the shenanigans of politicians so that the current politicians who are in power will be able to reprimand themselves and do less of the worst they would have done. We'd like you to always do well to smash the subscribe button if you're new to our station, turn on the notification bell so that you can be duly informed when we put out more informative content like this. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We truly don't take it lightly. My name again is Moses, and this is Think Tank TV. See you on our next video. Bye for now.